Which, first of all, actually, an unexpected season is behind you as well. And I would like to start by asking this: how was your first experience as a coach,
Well,
as a head coach, actually?
I have to say, it was lovely and great thanks to the people around me. Thanks to the people that knowingly or unknowingly prepared me for this, because I never forced myself, you must become a head coach or you must do this. But I worked with so many great coaches and been surrounded by so many great players. And in Efes, having a privilege of being surrounded by so many great leaders, from starting from our Mr. President to our General Director. So their support and their teaching lessons have made this transition that much easier for me and that much more smoother for me.
As someone who has been an assistant coach for years, what was the biggest challenge as a head coach?
Well, I wouldn't say the biggest challenge, but the biggest difference, the biggest change is that now you're the one not only suggesting certain things, but as an assistant coach, you're part of the staff. And the staff meets together, we analyze the situation in our team, in our opposing team, and we suggest stuff. As a head coach, you absorb the suggestions and then you make a final decision. So that is the biggest and the most, I would say,
Tough?
no, I wouldn't say tough. It's the change that you must prepare yourself for, because the final decision is always going to come to you as a head coach. Therefore, I'm very fortunate and lucky to have a tremendous support, like I said earlier, from the people with the club, and to have a staff, not only coaching staff, but medical staff, people that are surrounding us, people that from the front office side of our club that are supporting. And when you have people like that around you, then your job is much, much easier, because we have tremendous people working in Efes, so dedicated in helping and for the benefit of the team, that they allow our job to be only the court. And that's very, very important. The organization of our trips, the organization of our practices, the organization of our everything to the last detail is done by those great people. And that's why our job is much easier, much, much, much easier. That's why I'm very appreciative of all the people that we are surrounded with, because without them, our job would be double more difficult.
Thanks for the answer, Coach. By the way, you made a few transfers, but impactful transfers.
We believe so.
Four names, all of them have made big waves in the EuroLeague community. Was it difficult to convince them to bring you?
Well, I wouldn't say we haven't had to convince anybody, because most of the people and their representatives and people know when they're coming to Efes that they're coming into one of the most organized clubs in EuroLeague, in one of the places that everybody will take care of them perfectly. And that reputation that we had completely worked for us, because the people that we approach and made negotiations and contract communications with, they were very aware of where they potentially coming to. Therefore, we were fortunate that we approached four amazing and very different, but at the same time very unique and very, I would say, basketball individuals who are ready to make an impact right away. And starting from Vincent to Roland to Jordan and Stanley, all four of them were easily negotiated with. They all wanted to come, wanted to make an impact. They heard our story, they know what we want, and they're very.
And it didn't take long.
It didn't take long because, like I said, of our great reputation, they know in what kind of a lovely city they're coming to, what kind of a great organization they're coming to, a team with the highest expectation, and that always draws the attention to players that want to compete for the highest targets. And we were able to get and fill our spots that we had left open with the players, they're able to help us reach our highest targets. Not to mention, we were at the same time parting ways with four very important players in our club, starting with Tibor Pleiss, who was here for 5 years, who played a tremendous role in our team. He was a great contributor. Will Clyburn, a former EuroLeague champion and MVP, one of the most, I would say, impactful position, three players in modern European history. Of course, Mike Daum and Tyreek Jones, both players that made a very good impact on our club in a short period of time. So therefore, when you're adding new pieces to the team, you have to count that there's players that they're ready to contribute and ready to take a role of the contributor in a team environment. That's what we did.
When Jordan Nwora arrives, basically there was no prior news about him. Quickly happened. And a lot of people, coach, actually see him as a rotation, 15 minutes rotation player in an NBA team. How did this one become a possibility?
We have worked very hard throughout the summer. Everything from a great support from our Mr. President and board, who allowed us to open up our horizons completely and have in-depth analysis and conversation with our friends in the NBA. And anything from our general director, Mr. Alper Yilmaz, to our whole coaching staff, we made a lot of effort in making that deal done. Thankfully, we feel very fortunate that we were able to complete that transfer, and it wasn't done overnight. Although it may look overnight to the outside, but there was a lot of work, a lot of meetings, a lot of meetings from, like I said, friends in the NBA that have allowed this transfer to happen. And we're very, very happy that we brought, like I said, 4 pieces to our puzzle that we feel very strongly about, that can contribute in our Efes culture and in Efes goals. And Efes goals and targets are always the highest.
Yeah. I recently saw a statement from Tomislav Mijatovic, your fellow citizen. I'm not asking you after Jordan Nwora, but before Jordan Nwora, have you had any contact with Cedi Osman?
Oh, Cedi and myself, I think we have talked in different ways, shape or form, directly or by the phone 10, 15 times this summer, and we always do. This summer was no exception. We always exchange ideas, we exchange some thoughts, what's happening, and yes, I was fully aware of communication with Cedi at that time. But of course, to be completely, and I said this to Cedi also, I was completely surprised that he hasn't signed in the NBA earlier. That caught me by surprise. I was sure that he's going to continue in the NBA. Once we had our roster filled and Cedi hasn't signed in the NBA, of course that was something that like I said, I didn't expect to happen. It happened, and he signed with Panathinaikos, and this is something that it's a player's decision. He signed with the great coach and a team that's a current champion of EuroLeague. So sometimes these things do happen, But this is not something that it's not a surprise factor. A surprise factor for me is and was that Cedi didn't sign the next contract earlier in NBA. For me, that was a surprise.
As you mentioned earlier, when you talk about Tibor Pleiss, you have had good centers, but nobody arrived like Vincent Poirier.
Yeah, right? Of course. We were fortunate, and we have had a tremendous contribution from our big men, would it be Tibor Pleiss, would it be Brian Dunstan, in a recent 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And therefore, when we're adding an important piece, such as Vincent Poirier, who came from Real Madrid and who is a proven contributor in winning puzzles, we feel very good, not only because he arrived with that characteristic that he has, but we also feel very good that our Daniel Oturu, who is our young second-year player with a lot more potential and room to grow, is here with us. Also, let's not forget that we have Salih Altuntaş coming as an 18-year-old Efes prodigy. So we have this important center culture in our club that we're going to continue to add and build on. And of course, addition of Vincent Poirier is amazing, and it's very big, and we hope it's going to be as impactful as we hope.
Yeah. This is your 13 years, right?
No, this is my
14th.
This is my 14th year, 15th season.
15th season. Okay, coach. Many great teams have been formed, but would you rank this roster at the top in terms of deep rotation?
I wouldn't. I'm not a big fan of ranking because, ranking and the paper can hold a lot of things, but the only ranking and the only measure that I believe in is the court. I'm fully confident and happy that our roster that we were able to build, again, with a tremendous support from our club, our Mr. President and General Director in that sense, is very competitive and highly potential, team with high potential. And in that ranking, I believe that, and I hope that towards the end of the season, it's going to be ranked as some of the highest. But in the preseason rankings and the paper rankings, I don't necessarily believe in that too much. I believe that we have to prove ourselves on the court, and we will do so.
Yeah, great answer too. Coach, recently Ergin Ataman published a picture with you and said, "We are waiting for you to win the 5 EuroLeague Final Four." I mean, since the day he left, he expressed his love to you in every interview, absolutely. But how does it feel to hear those words from such a big man?
Well, I've said many times, and I don't think it's not easy to express by words the amount of appreciation and love that I have for Ergin Hoca and for our not only times together in Efes, but the friendship that was formed afterwards and his unconditional support for me. And this is something that I can never thank him enough for. I'm not too many people would be more happier than me if, inshallah, his picture prediction comes to life. If this happens, I would be extremely honored and privileged. But again, going back to Ergin Hoca and his support and leadership and the kind of bond that is being built, it's incredible, and I'm forever thankful for that. And I'm really proud and honored that such a great person and such a great and a super successful coach has those words of support for myself.
Yeah, I'd like to ask about a general EuroLeague question, Coach. There are 18 NBA players who come into Europe this season, and do you think that these big names, like such as Vezenko, Cedi, and Evan Fournier, could open a new door? Because these players have proven themselves in the NBA, and some young players like first-round picks, Theo Maledon, Alexei Pokusevski are here now.
Yeah, there is one new trend that's normal trend that's going to open up in European basketball. NCAA allowed NIL to influence our youth market in a great way. If you can see, following last couple of years, the best players from Efes, Real Madrid, Barcelona, everywhere, they're going, not only a player, but some of the best players from the youth programs are going to NCAA. Therefore, now when you get to a point where you're selecting teams from your junior programs in Europe, you don't have the best ones to select from. Now there's different cycle. There's European players, such as we mentioned, from Cedi, Furkan, Ömer Faruk, Theo Maledon, Kukushevsky. Those players are returning from the early NBA exits, some of them, back to EuroLeague, or some established ones like Cedi, who is established name in EuroLeague, Furkan, established name in EuroLeague, they're coming back to Europe. So this, in addition to players such as Jordan Nwora, Stanley Johnson, last year Jabari Parker, those are younger NBA players who are coming not only to finish their contracts in EuroLeague, they're coming to play and compete in EuroLeague. These are young NBA players. So now you have this new mixture of younger NBA players, like I said, Jordan Nwora, like I said, Daniel Ortu, Stanley Johnson. Now you have Ömer Faruk Yurtseven coming back. Now there is Jabari Parkers, there's these guys that are coming to EuroLeague and bringing more quality to EuroLeague. Now EuroLeague is becoming, for that reason, even more competitive, a little bit different maybe age-wise, because you don't have this brand new young players coming in because they're now going to the NCAA. But these guys are coming back. New, younger NBA prospects are here. So now this level of competition is becoming that much more difficult, that much more dangerous, and for fans, that much more competitive and easy and fun to watch.
Absolutely. And the last question, Coach, about Basketball Super League. The Federation has announced the new foreign rule, 4+3. As an important basketball person, how do you see this development? I mean, do you see any logical part of it?
I'm not the person who is entitled to analyze or was ever judge or analyze any kind of decisions like that. I'm here to follow the instructions and the laws that are put. I have been in Turkey in Basketball Super League for 14, 15 years now. I have seen anything from 3+2 rule to this rule, that rule, and I'm a firm believer that there are basketball players. There is no, oh, he's a Turkish basketball player, he's American,
Absolutely.
he is Danish, he is, no, there's a basketball player.
Yeah.
I was privileged to work in these 15 years with probably 95% of Türk milli takım oyuncular. And I cannot show you the biggest gratitude and the biggest appreciation for a group of players of the best. So those players can play in Efes, in Fener, in Real Madrid, Barcelona. So the quality will always flourish.
Yeah.
The quality will always come to the top. Therefore, whatever rule is put by our governing body, which is Turkish Basketball Federation, we as clubs have to accept. We as coaches have to make sure that those players are working in the best possible environments. And basketball in Turkey for new generations, basketball in Turkey for milli takım, and our basketball league is going to just continue to grow and be strong and be, like it is, in my opinion, one of the best organized and most competitive basketball leagues in Europe, without any doubt. That nobody can prove me different. That our league is for sure top of the tops.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine. Çok teşekkürler.